friends, welcome back to the PC Elitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd.
And today we're doing our weekend review of news. For, what's the date today? The 30th?
30th.
Yes. And so we were looking for news, and there's barely any, because it is the slowest news day of all time. Or news week.
Yeah, it's been pretty light, but that's to be expected around the holidays. But there is one piece of very exciting news, isn't there?
Is it that our channel finally hit 700 subscribers?
Yeah, sure. And 50,000 views. No one cares about that.
Yes, they do.
Of course they do.
Grow.
Remember when we had planned for you and I to go out to dinner at 500 and for us to throw a literal party at 1,000?
Right.
That was like a year ago. We made those plans, and we're still at 700.
Well, maybe some YouTube savant is out there and will hear our plight and, tell us how to get to 1,000 so we can have a party.
Yeah, that's Woodsie, always looking for a handout.
All right, so let's talk about our, stop talking about our little numbers and start talking about Steam's massive numbers, because one of the most interesting things to come down the pike, and this just happened recently, is Steam broke its concurrent user record with 7.6 million people. Which is a lot.
And they were all playing Kerbal Space Program, I bet.
No, they weren't. They were playing all different games. They're all playing Left 4 Dead 2. Every one of them.
Yes.
They're all on the same server.
The same dedicated server. I think that it's really great for Steam to hit those kind of numbers, and it's not surprising given that we're in one of their two major sales throughout the year. Mm-hmm. But I think that 7.5 million is a very solid number concurrent. And it's helped by many things. The sale, as I said, is one of them. The holidays, the fact that people have work off, school off, sometimes both off if you work and go to school. So people are home. They are flush with disposable income.
Right.
Because as any good present is, my wife got me, for example, one of the things she got me was a $20 Steam card. So I hope that the rest of you were as lucky, if not more so.
To have a wife or to get a Steam card?
Well, depends on what you value more.
So do you think that
I did pay her back and... Go ahead.
I was thinking, do you think some of it is just... It seems like it could very easily be... I mean, I think it's impressive that on any peak night, it seems like there's like 3 million people on playing.
Yeah, recently I've seen peaks in the high threes. I even saw like 4.5 a few weeks ago on, I think, a Saturday. Yeah, because really, if you have something to do on a Saturday night, you're out doing it. But that's when we typically see a big spike in the numbers.
Right.
Because as we know, PC gamers, their social life includes PC gaming, and that's not a slight to them. That's just that many of us spend time with our friends in a virtual manner, and the world has not yet embraced that as a legitimate method of social interaction.
Yeah, well, it's getting that way. We're trying to get the PC to the couch, where everyone can grab a Steam controller, and even though, people have been doing that for a long time now, I understand that, but...
A PC gamer's place is pantless in front of his 27-inch screen.
With a shit bucket.
Stop it. So since we're talking about Steam, I must ask you, have you been taking advantage of the Steam sale, sir?
No, and it actually came up with an interesting question for myself and something for you. There seems to be a threshold that in my own mind where something I have mild interest in, and unless it goes under a certain amount, I don't buy it. Personally.
Yeah,
it's just like totally a personal number. If something is 50% off and it's still $15, I don't know. It depends on my level of interest with the game, but I guess it's really subjective. But it seems like when it gets below or around the $3 mark, I could have just the slightest inkling to know more about this game, and I will buy it.
Yeah,
I will buy it instead of actually reading about it.
if there's marginal interest and it drops below 5, I'm definitely getting it. If there's moderate interest, then 10 is a good threshold. It's rare for me to buy a game that's severely discounted and still 15 to 20 or more. And I think that's largely because any game that is that at that price point, if I really wanted it, I probably bought it when it came out,
Right.
at full cost.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
I actually am surprised this year, summer and winter sales. I usually jump all over and just stock up on games through the year, but so far the games that have been going on sale, they're generally not the type of games I play, and even at these massive discounts, I tend not to buy things just because they're on sale. Games
Right.
are really the only thing that I do that with. But I've really only bought, let me see, I bought Goddess, I bought Anno 2070 because I just thought it would be interesting. I almost mistakenly bought SimCity 4 thinking it was a newer version, which, by the way, SimCity 4 was down to $5. Normal retail is still $20 for that game, and it's 10 years old. I don't know how you can really justify selling a 10-year-old game at $20.
Yeah.
That's just. But yeah, and I also bought. I was going to say with some of the Steam card that Mrs. Shepherd got me. I bought a Nancy Drew game for her, which we went through and played because she is a sleuth herself, so she enjoys the Nancy Drew series.
Right. What do you think?
We also.
It's
Go
probably
ahead.
is it more when she plays Nancy Drew? Just out of curiosity, is it more of an observational role you play, or are you just as involved?
I am more observational and I assist when needed. But it's rare because she's very good. She's very crafty, that one. So she doesn't usually need my help, but she wants me to play with her. She doesn't want me just to be in the room. Because if she needs help with something, she doesn't want to have me have to explain everything to me to catch me up to speed, then help with the puzzle. But yeah, it's mostly observational, just because a game like that, it's click to move, kind of like Myst. Even the
Right.
newer ones they're all the same design. It's hard to have more than one person actively engaged, just
Yeah.
because the stories aren't that riveting and the voice acting is still as bad as ever.
Well, that's
But we did
that's gotta be
buy.
fun. I love bad voice acting.
Oh, it's terrible. We did buy Gone Home and played through that together, by the way.
Yeah, what'd you
And
think of that?
it doesn't quite warrant a full review because the game itself is very short. I'll say it this way. It's definitely a different kind of game. It's very heavy on the storytelling. It's entirely story-based. But I will say that as interesting as the game was, we bought it at 50% off, so it was only $10. I would have been very upset if I played $20 for that game and ended up with what the result was. It took us, I think, 2.5 hours to get through,
Right.
and normally there's like a dollar to time played ratio that feels about right. But it wasn't so much the time played; it's just the experience itself. You played through it's kind of like a short story movie, so to speak. It was kind of an interactive short story, and at $10, I still felt it was a little thin.
Right.
But
Wow.
yeah, and apparently the game's not linear like a Nancy Drew game where you simply can't access certain parts of the map or talk to certain people or they won't reveal things to you until you've done other things. Apparently this game, I don't really know how to say this without ruining it. Because it's not linear, I've heard people are able to beat the game accidentally in about 2 minutes by stumbling upon the finish, put it that way.
For
And
20
if
bucks,
the
that's
case,
got to be really disappointing.
Yeah, and I haven't experienced it because I could probably go back in and restart the game and do it myself and see if it's true, which I haven't done yet. But I sure want to talk to the first person who stumbled across that and was like, wait, I just went down this path and there it is. Game's
When,
over.
when I get off of here, when we get done, I'm going to go look up YouTube and I'm going to type in "Gone Home speedrun."
Yes.
See
Yeah,
what happens.
people do post videos of that. And they post videos the full version as well as the speed run. So yeah, but you miss out on all the goodness.
That's true.
Anyway, so since news has been light, I know we've gone around the amount of time we normally like to go for these, but since the news has been light, what have you been doing the last week? Either gaming or otherwise. What have you been entertaining yourself with during this holiday season?
Well, a few things. I've been just kind of doing maintenance on my multiplayer games, which is kind of weird to say, but that's what I was doing. Like downloading the latest PlanetSide 2 patches, checking that out. Downloading the latest like Battlefield 4 expansion, which came with my premium buy. Which I only played one map tonight, and I was very impressed with. The map design in Battlefield 4 is so much better, but the sniping is overpowered. Anyway, that's not the point. But no, my big goal for the next couple of weeks is to actually beat The Witcher 2. I never beat it. It's like one of those things where I got really far, and then I've had a new hard drive since then, though I could have probably recovered it somehow on my old one. But it was one of those things where you stop reading a book for like months, and then you think, I just have to start over. So I'm going to start over, play The Witcher 2, because The Witcher 3 is going to be on its way out, and I want to play that. So, but you know what's interesting is that when I started up The Witcher 2, it asks you, it looks for Witcher 1 games, so connect the two. But I have no idea what that actually does for you in the way of storytelling or anything narratively, if you connect the old one to the new one. But that's basically all I've been doing, and I've been playing more. I got a few matches in of Wizard Wars, which I'm actually enjoying I'm enjoying a lot. So that's been my week.
Are there more than 6 people playing it now?
No, there's more people. There's more people playing.
You and I had a hell of a time doing our review for True PC Gaming.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, finding a game, that was fun.
I think it's good. I think it's doing better now. But I got to say, this last week has been a bear trying to get to my computer and play anything. It's just been very busy with the holidays and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So that's the week in review of Woodsie's World.
Excellent. Alliteration notwithstanding.
So what have you been doing?
I have been almost exclusively reading the Game of Thrones series because I want to read all of the books before I start watching the show. Haven't seen any of the show, so I'm doing it this way on purpose.
Everyone comment on this video leaving spoilers.
Things have already been spoiled for me, like the Red Wedding and various other things from people who do watch the show, and they're bastards and they're going to rot in hell for it. But it's not as bad as Dennis telling you that Qui-Gon Jinn died. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the best story. Anyway,
that was the best story. But I played through the first episode of Walking Dead Season 2. Very interesting that was. But as I've been reading through Game of Thrones, I've always really liked everything medieval. But I'm kind of rediscovering my love for it, and I always love kind of rediscovering a passion. And it reminded me of that I don't really have that many medieval games that I just love and consume a lot of my time, either presently or in the past. And I'm not really one for medieval strategy games, though I might give them another shot now that I'm getting back into it. But I've been downloading like Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, Mountain Blade Warband. I gave Skyrim another chance, but I've officially decided, no thanks, can't do it. Witcher 2, I've been, I think, maybe 10 or 12 hours in, really enjoying that. And I actually have to admit, and I know you're going to make your sighing, frowny face when I say this, it does make me miss playing human in World of Warcraft. And I'll have the audience know that I was originally... I pretty much only play human characters in any kind of RPG I play that has fantasy elements, and Woodsie knows this to be true, and I always play a man.
Yes. You know what's funny is that I've noticed, and my girlfriend mentioned it, when I saw your avatar on screen. And I think at the time, but we were playing WoW, and I had a female avatar, but I'm not sure which character that was. And she goes, you're playing a girl? And I go, yeah. And she goes, what's Sean? And I go, oh, it's a guy. And he goes, he always plays a guy? I go, yeah, he likes human, but he always plays a guy. And she goes, oh, okay. But I go, but when he does play a human, it's always a black guy, so I don't know.
Well, Shepherd book is black. I don't write the rules, Woodsie. I just abide by them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
But no, I was going to say is my first WoW experience was playing as a human hunter at the time.
Right.
And then because you and Rousdower and all of our other friends played Horde, I had to abandon those dreams and leave them shattered in broken pieces on the floor.
Right.
And then I played all Tauren characters, which, don't get me wrong, I certainly loved. But I do have that long-lost longing for playing a human in WoW. And so I've just been in this mindset of wanting to play these medieval games again. and I played, as I said, Skyrim, and I've just given up on that game altogether after about 30 hours. And Mountain Blade Warband just is. There's nothing greater in the world than shooting an arrow through someone's forehead and then walking up to them and picking it back out.
Yeah.
It's the medieval version of Daryl from Walking Dead. So that's what I've really been up to, is thinking all things lords, ladies, knights, and castles.
Well, that's great. I love it when we get
again. By the way,
oh, I'm gonna start downloading it.
Yeah,
do you want to get the?
Because that'll make.
Do you want to get the expansion?
We probably should. It would make for some great Elitist play footage.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. Anyway, that was our weekend review of Just Us, because really there was no news to speak of in any real way. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd. This is the PC Elitist signing out, and a Happy New Year.